David, can you give us a quick state of the industry introduction?
Sure. Thank you, Meg, and thanks everybody for tuning in today. Just to start off, I guess a little background on construction and its impact in Montana. Non-residential construction is about $1.5 billion worth of construction across the state. Total construction is almost $3 billion, which is about 6% of the state's gross domestic product. So it's a significant portion of what happens in our state, and it certainly drives a lot of economic factors. As we've entered the coronavirus challenges, nationally, there's almost 1 million people in the construction industry who've lost their jobs. Now, unfortunately, that's obviously not a good number. It's comparative probably to some of the other ones. Our observation is that probably a lot of that has happened in the highly dense areas, Chicago now, New York, some of the East Coast areas. And I think more than anything else, so it's probably occurred a lot in the residential construction area. There's been a lot of residential projects that have been put on hold. A residential house does not take the length of time to build that a building or a highway does, so it's easier to pull the plug, start, stop, get back at it later. So real quick from Montana Department of Transportation, vehicle miles traveled during the month of April, not surprising, is down about 43% across the state. But because of the way the gas tax is collected at the storage facility, not at the pump, the gas tax collections are only projected to be down about 7% by the end of June, which is the state's fiscal year. That's still $18 million, which is not anything to sneeze at. The MDT is projecting for next year would be down about 20%, which would be $50 million. And again, that's nothing to sneeze at. Some of the things that are affecting contractors, 30% of building materials come from China. So I think that'll be a big rebound, or not rebound, but whiplash effect probably in the 6 to 18 months ahead of us. There was a report from the Associated Building, ABC, Associated Building, I forget their
some acronym.
At any rate, the backlog of projects in the building side of construction is now down to 7.8 months, and wow, that's the lowest that's been since 2012. So there's been a nice backlog that's allowed contractors to kind of feather out their projects, and that might be compressed a little bit as we go forward in the coming months. So there's also just some information that just came out. I was on a webinar earlier today from the Bureau of Business and Economic Research about projections of the recovery. We can talk about that some other time too, but we're in this for a couple of years, it looks like.